This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900.
Welcome to News 25. So glad you can join us on this Monday, February 7th. Well, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were busy today with the Nye County Sheriff's Office. They are working on determining what caused a fire this morning at an abandoned structure on Pahrump's south end.
Just before the lunch hour, we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. Almost immediately after the dispatch, we were notified that, in fact, we had smoke showing from an unoccupied building on the south end of town. Engine 3 arrived in short fashion and confirmed a working structure fire, with the majority of the fire showing from the outside exterior wall. This was an abandoned building. The fire is suspect in nature, as there were no utilities serving the property, and a vehicle was observed fleeing from the scene at the time of its discovery. So the Sheriff's Office and Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue are investigating, and we suspect it was either probably someone playing around in the area, unknown whether someone tried to intentionally burn the building or it was just an accidental fire.
And one patient was flown to a Las Vegas trauma center after being hurt in a single vehicle rollover this morning.
While we were in the middle of fighting,
just moments after the fire on Thousand Air Boulevard.
While we were in the middle of fighting a fire, we were also dispatched for a report of a one vehicle rollover. With injuries, our two crews were diverted and an additional crew assigned. They arrived and found a one vehicle. It was a pickup style with multiple rotations, both on the road surface and also onto a dirt parking lot. Crews commenced a scene size up and they found a total of 6 people, various states of injury. All were transported from the scene with the exception of one who was given the care of the guardian. And one patient was actually flown from transported to base 21 and then flown to trauma.
And Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue is investigating a weekend fire that damaged a home reported to be under construction on the north side of town. Fire Chief Scott Lewis says while the exact cause is still unknown, it appears to have been accidental.
This is an early morning fire Sunday, just after midnight. We were dispatched for a report of an unknown type fire in the area of Murphy and Majestic. Crews arrived in the area, Simpkins and Majestic, excuse me, and arrived in the area and found fire showing with smoke showing from the roof surface. It was a double-wide manufactured dwelling with an addition. The size up revealed that the house was under interior renovation. It was unoccupied at the time of the fire. Crews found that they secured the power at the pedestal and then commenced an interior attack, found heavy fire in the attic space, pulled the ceilings, accessed the fire. Due to the renovations and the nature of those renovations, it was a difficult fire to fight because it was multiple layers in the ceiling area. There were no injuries. The fire is under investigation, and crews were on scene for about 3.5 to 4 hours. We're looking at the possibility that some process or some part of the renovation caused the fire. We do not believe it's an intentional act.
And the Nye County Sheriff's Office and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a 2-vehicle crash. This involved a pickup truck and an RV. This occurred on Sunday morning on Basin Avenue and Linda Street. No injuries were reported at the time of the crash. We'll tell you about another accident as if fire crews and police were not busy enough right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the Nye County Sheriff's Office responded to a non-injury 2-vehicle crash this morning that occurred on Bella Vista and Highway 160. Both of these white pickup trucks involved pulled off of the roadway. There is a moderate damage to the trucks, no injuries reported to the individuals. Nevada Highway Patrol was also dispatched to the scene where they are conducting the accident investigation. Well, a woman who police say is suspected to be impaired leads 2 officers on a pursuit here in town. Now she faces several charges, including reckless driving. Brad Francis reports.
Madeline Kostopoulos has been booked into the Nye County Detention Center on 4 counts of failure to yield at a stop sign, 1 count of resisting a public officer, 1 count of basic speed of more than 21 miles per hour over the posted limit, 1 count of driver disobeying a peace officer, endangering other people, and 1 count of reckless driving. A deputy on patrol noticed a Chrysler PT Cruiser stopped at a stop sign at the intersection of Blagg Road and Wilson Road for an extended period of time. That vehicle was being driven by a woman later identified as Kostopoulos. The deputy followed as she turned onto Wilson Road and almost immediately swerved off the roadway. At this point, the deputy says he suspected Kostopoulos was impaired and attempted a traffic stop, but the lights and siren didn't persuade her to stop. Instead, the sheriff's office says Kostopoulos ran through several stop signs and reached a speed of about 70 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone on a section of State Route 160. Deputies say Kostopoulos was able to evade them for nearly 10 minutes until several patrol vehicles were able to block her in on East Walt Williams Drive. After refusing several orders to exit the car, Kostopoulos was forcibly removed from the vehicle and taken into custody. The sheriff's office says deputies determined Kostopoulos was alert and oriented. However, she told officers about a police use of force incident in California and stated she was afraid to stop. Kostopoulos was placed under arrest and transported to jail.
And we're going to go back inside the cat room for today's Save a Pet at Desert Haven Animal Society. Darby's going to introduce us to Bonnie May.
Today's Save a Pet segment is made possible by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Bonnie May. Bonnie May has been here at Desert Haven now for a little over 5 months. She is a beautiful, very hefty, black domestic long-haired cat. She is primarily black, but then she has these cute little white toes that poke out of her, like the bottom, and then she also has this really majestic white fluff that just comes out from the middle of her neck. It's so unique and cute. She also has beautiful, beautiful green eyes. She is quite a large cat. I would probably say she's around 20 pounds or so. So it's not just the fluff. There's some chunk going on underneath there too. Super sweet girl. She is actually one of the roaming cats, so she gets along well with other kitties. And she just loves attention, and she's constantly trying to groom herself so that she can look presentable. She's hoping that she gets to go and find true love at their event that they're actually hosting here at Desert Haven, called Speed Petting, which is on February 13th at 1 p.m. at their facility here on Siri Lane. So you can come, meet a whole bunch of these kitties and doggies and pet them, and hopefully you get to find true love, and hopefully they get to also find true love during that day. So if you want to come and see Bonnie May or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, you can always give them a call at 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
Thanks so much, Darby. Well, atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is an irregular heartbeat that can cause poor blood flow. It can lead to blood clots, stroke, and in some cases, heart failure. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Osama Wazni says it's important to see your doctor if it feels like your heart flip-flops or skips a beat.
If we wait too long to address atrial fibrillation, it is more difficult for us to manage it.
Traditionally, medication is the first treatment used to manage intermittent AFib. If medication does not work, doctors will try a procedure called an ablation. Dr. Wozni led a clinical trial which found a certain type of ablation is safe and more effective as the initial treatment. Researchers looked at more than 200 patients at 24 hospitals around the U.S. Patients received the standard medication or a cryoballoon ablation. After a year, 75% of people who had the ablation were still free from AFib. In comparison, only 45% of people who took medication were still AFib-free. Dr. Wozni says using ablation as the first treatment could help keep AFib away longer and prevent it from getting worse.
So if you take into account the success rate of the ablation itself, 75% versus 45%, that's very good news for our patients. But also, if you take into account healthcare utilization, those patients took medication, and a big proportion of them still ended up needing an ablation.
This was an FDA-regulated study, so it could change how doctors treat AFib in the future.
More news on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, there is a fundraiser happening tomorrow night from 6 until 10 p.m. That's going to be at the 5280 Mexican Grub. That is that restaurant that was the former Sullivan's right there on Mesquite Avenue, just west of Leslie Street. They're going to be having some karaoke. The karaoke group Double Trouble will be there tomorrow night. They're going to sing some songs for him. And of course, once again, this is for a fundraiser to help with the hospital bills for a person by the name of Jeff Close. Jeff was involved in a structure fire late last month on Kellogg Road. If you would like to attend, you can stop by 5280 Mexican Grub from 6 to 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, February 8th. You can even just drop off some funds. I know his family's having a hard time with those hospital bills. Well, as we honor Black History Month, we recognize today's Black leaders in education who are making history in the lives of their students each and every day. At one charter school in D.C., kids are in training to become the next generation of stock market kings. Kim Martinez reports.
Take the money you have, you invest it, and then you watch it work for you.
A path to financial freedom and wealth for everyone who works and learns inside this building.
But that's why, like Amira said, it's important to start early rather than when you're later.
Here at Legends Charter School, which fittingly sits in a corporate office area of Washington, D.C., financial education is comprehensively built into the curriculum and offered to the entire school community.
A payment that is taken out of your bank account. This is your money. This is not anybody else's money. Whose is it? What's the question? What's the answer? What is it?
Every single class in here is named after a stock portfolio.
Shamari James, one of the 4 founding members of Legends, wanted their student body of mostly minority children to get real-life experiences in investing and how money works.
This is the machine that has your money in it. It's hooked up to your bank.
When you have an understanding about money, it changes things. It opens things up for you.
The kids couldn't have better teachers on the subject. Shamari snatched people like Justin DeVoe right out of the financial world, convincing them that helping these kids is their true calling.
So when you start investing, don't get scared or upset because you don't have a lot of money right away.
The kids are extra invested in this class because they can win hundreds of dollars in scholarship money to invest in their own portfolios.
You really need to learn how to invest and grow your money at a young age, and I think that's really good for young kids to learn that.
As it turns out, 5th grader Sincere Turner is really good at investing. He's one of the current students picked to use scholarship dollars to build up his personal portfolio.
This is money that is borrowed.
The school uses its resources to help create wealth for the adults as well, who are part of the Legends community.
We know what teacher wages are, so what Justin does is he holds specific classes for just the teachers to come in to be able to talk to them about their finances and financial education as well, so they can feel prepared.
And I love the fact that he also, the financial department, Mr. DeVos also helps the parents as well to save, to start investing in stocks and stuff like that.
A school that's taking investing into one's community to a whole new, exciting level.
Transaction!
Kim Martinez reporting.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Taking a look over the Mount Charleston area from this morning. A little bit of snow-capped mountains. Such a beautiful day out there today. We're going to find out what's in store for your week right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Guess the weather, win the prize. Look at this, man, big prize today. 56 degrees pretty much all the way from Fernley all the way down to Goldfield, say. Hot spot over here over at that Carson City, we got 59. They're burning some government money. It heats up, you know. Beatty, 66 degrees. Amargosa at 69. That's our absolute hot spot in the state today. And just flirting with 70 degrees. You're just right there in Las Vegas, close behind you at 66. And out in Death Valley, starting to feel like Death Valley, 77 degrees. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's look, current temperature 60 degrees. Straight up, low tonight 37, not too bad. Easterly winds to 3 miles per hour. Humidity bearable at 30% as the sun went down about 5 minutes ago, 5:17. Don't worry, it's coming back tomorrow, 6:38 a.m., and we'll look forward to that. And the high tomorrow of 72 under those sunny skies and a low of 40. Whoa, we're starting to see a preview of spring. This is glorious. What do we got coming up for the rest of the week? Sun shining on me all the way till Sunday. Good golly, temperatures in the 70s throughout the entire week. It looks like we crest out on Friday. That'll be great, 76-degree high. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Looks like we see some clouds returning on Monday, but boy, get out your SPF 15 and get yourself a base coat. It's starting to feel like spring around here, don't you think? All right, back to the desk.
All right, thanks so much, John. And the weather looks like it's going to be pretty stable this week. Really crazy last week with some of that wind that we had out there. You know, everybody's got to drive safe out there. We really had a crazy Monday as far as Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were concerned today. Be safe out there. And if you want to find out more about some tickets to the Soroptimist, their event that's happening this weekend, the Mardi Gras, you just need to look on our local Pahrump Facebook page. We do have a flyer there that tells you how to get tickets, and they're going fast. So, of course, we would love to see everybody there at the Mardi Gras event, and that is this weekend. We hope you had a wonderful Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.